I want to turn to the issue of health care.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, in January, you talked about you were fine with getting rid of it all. And then you indicated that there was a place for private health insurance, and then the debate where you raised your hand, understanding that you say you misheard the question. So let's...
But there's a lot that you're building into this question that's not accurate.
Well, there's
I would like to just get to the point, but there's a lot that you're building into the question that's inaccurate.
The impression that people are left with is they're not quite sure. So let's clear it up.
Okay, good.
From where you are, tell me your position on what Medicare for All means under President Harris.
Sure. Medicare for All means that everyone will have access to health care and cost will not be a barrier. As it relates to private insurance, there will still be supplemental insurance, but yeah, transitioning into Medicare for All will at some point reduce the requirement for insurance, because everyone will have access to health care. Under Medicare for All, in my vision of Medicare for All, people will have covered what they don't now in terms of vision care, dental care, hearing aids. I'm here with a bunch of seniors in Iowa, and hearing aids are extremely expensive and not covered by Medicare right now. Medicare for All means that you recognize that right now in America, 91% of our doctors are in Medicare. So you're not going to have to lose your doctor. It is very unlikely. It means recognizing that over a period of many years, the insurance companies have been jacking up the cost of health care in terms of premiums, deductibles, and co-pays. So that right now, someone who has insurance coverage will still be out of pocket $5,000 because that's their deductible, which for most Americans is unaffordable.
The role of private insurance, are you limiting that to something like cosmetic insurance? Or what is the exact role of private insurance
to
under
cover
your
what
Medicare?
is not otherwise covered.
So that includes what?
Very little, because almost everything will be covered.
So then how does this plan differ from what Senator Sanders is proposing?
I think that they're very similar. I don't know that they're, I mean, I don't think that, I'm supporting his bill. So to the extent that he's talking about his bill, I don't know what else he's talking about.
You said...
I mean, I'm not in support of middle-class families paying more taxes for it.
And that's what I actually was hoping to talk to you about. You just said that you were not in favor of a middle-class tax hike.
Yes, correct.
How do you propose to pay for your version of Medicare for All, if it resembles what Senator Sanders is proposing?
Part of it is going to have to be about Wall Street paying more. It's going to have to be about looking at how we and what we tax in terms of financial services. That's part of it. But the other part of it is to understand that this is about an investment which will reap a great return on the investment. We can't only look at this issue in terms of cost without thinking about benefit. The benefit to the American public will be that people will have access to health care that right now they cannot afford. And we are all paying a price for that.
Now, Senator Sanders says that that is impossible to achieve without a middle-class tax hike.
I'm not prepared to engage in a middle-class tax hike.
But in many studies, study after study shows it would cost approximately $30 million over a decade to pay for this. So taxing Wall Street will reap $30 trillion in order to cover this?
What we're doing right now is unaffordable to so many American families. And the idea that we're going to go down and this level of analysis that suggests that status quo is okay is completely unacceptable.
So people who have private insurance would eventually have to give that up under your plan?
They would eventually be covered under Medicare for All, and they would still see their doctor, and that's what they want.
How long will this transition take?
I think the transition is going to have to take, I mean, the bill is 4 years. I think it's going to have to take more than that, to be honest with you. Yeah.
And all of this done without a middle-class tax hike?
Without a middle-class tax hike, yes.
$30 trillion over 10 years.
There are ways to pay for it, also understanding the investment that we are going to be making in a way that is going to reap great benefits in terms of other costs.
The investment where?
In American health and what we are otherwise paying as a cost for people not having access to health care and the burdens that places on systems across the board when people don't have access to health care.
And when people question that there is no formula for this, that you are going to find money in magical ways is not realistic thinking. How do you respond to that?
Status quo is not enough. So we have to be open to challenging status quo so that everyone has access to health care and price is not the is not the barrier. We have to agree that what's happening right now is not affordable to many, many working families.
Well, Joe Biden says that this is what you were suggesting, an elimination of Obamacare. Is that accurate?
It's absolutely not. Listen, I will put my record up against anybody as having been a fighter for the maintenance and the sustainability of Obamacare. As Attorney General, I mean, I'm sure on the debate stage, I'm the only one who went to court to fight to keep in place all of the benefits of Obamacare. But like President Obama himself has said, he used the analogy of it being like a starter home. It was a profound public health policy and shift. It was incredible, the courage that he had with so many others to actually get it done. And the wherewithal to get it done was profound.
But
and so now
Obamacare
it's
isn't
about taking it to its. But now it's about taking it to the next step.
So it is moving on from Obamacare.
And making improvements on it. And President Obama himself said that there are improvements